Hello everyone, and welcome to today's travel webcast webinar, Birthday Bash, How Germany Celebrates 500 Years of Reformation and Why You Should Go. Presenting for us today is Antje Spletstoser, Director of the German National Tourist Office, along with Stephanie Brinkman, Marketing and Sales Manager for Thuringia Tourism, and also Hector, Business Development Manager at Globus. Hi Antje, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line.
Very good. All right, so before we get started, I'd just like to let the viewers know that if you have any questions during the webinar, just type them into either the chat box or preferably the Q&A box, which is located in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered after all three presenters have spoken. Okay, Antje, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, you can start whenever you're ready. Great, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Let me quickly switch the modus. Okay, so hello everyone. First of all, Daniel, thank you so much for your introduction. And,
you're very welcome.
A wonderful good afternoon to all the travel agents who have signed up. Also in the name of our co-presenters today, Stephanie from Thuringia and also Hector from Globus. We're very, very excited to share some highlights and news about Destination Germany for you this year. And just to give you a brief recap, I will do some quick facts and numbers about Germany, and then I will concentrate on why you should actually definitely go to Germany this year or recommend your clients to go, because we have some exciting anniversaries coming up, one which will namely be the 500 years of Reformation. So let's get started. Germany, as you can see, is a beautiful, bright, lovely sun right in the middle of Europe. So we are quite nicely located, and also Germany is very, very small in comparison to Canada. So just to give you an idea, Germany fits 3 times into the province of Ontario, or an entire 27 times into all of Canada. Why am I pointing that out so much? Because you probably have heard already about lots of cities in Germany, such as Berlin, Dresden, Leipzig, Munich, Rothenburg ob der Tauber, Hamburg, Cologne, Düsseldorf, you name them. Many, many cities. But the good news is they're all very easy within reach. So in Germany, you don't travel far to get to the next destination, which is quite convenient for the travelers. And now looking at the map to the left, you can see this is how our country is split up. So we also have, similar to the Canadian provinces, we do have 16 German states. And we also are surrounded by the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. And now where there is water, there are usually also islands. And in Germany, we also have 350 islands. Many people have not heard about that fact, but I love them. It's really nice when you go there in summertime anyway. Might be definitely worth it to check them out. And as you can see on this map also, we're surrounded by a couple of other countries like Poland, Czech Republic, Netherlands. You can see it, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Austria. We're surrounded by 9 countries in total, which makes it, again, very, very easy to even use Germany and travel from there to other countries. That's all doable. Now, how do you even get to Germany? That's a good question. Of course, we offer lots of direct flights. Right now, we are at 109 in summertime. And the direct flights going into Munich and Frankfurt are by Lufthansa, Condor, and Air Canada. And brand new as of this year, actually starting in June, Air Canada Rouge will have their first direct flight ever from Toronto to Berlin, which is something we are absolutely super excited about. It's 4 times weekly, again, seasonal. Check it out. It's a very convenient option for your clients. Now, once you made it to Germany, it's very easy to get around as well. First of all, we do have a lot of other airports, even though we're such a small country. So it's very convenient to have even connection flights. Our rail system is probably one of the most famous in all of Europe. To the lower right, you can see a picture of our popular ice train. People love traveling on them, and they're very conveniently located already at the airport. You just go 2 levels down, and you can easily connect anywhere else in Germany. You can also rent a car, which we heard that there are some Canadian gentlemen, not to be gender specific, it could also be women, but especially the gentlemen love renting a car and trying our highways, because Germany is well known that 60% of the highways are still without speed limit. So I heard already about the one or the other person who loves renting a Mercedes or a Porsche and just try the speed button a little bit. So that might be something for your clients to consider as well. And of course, both you have heard of the river cruises. River cruises have become very popular. So of course, that's an option as well to explore our beautiful country. Just to sum up why traveling to Germany is a good idea. First of all, it's really, really affordable. And I think there is a misconception because if you actually look at the studies, and there are always comparison studies about the average hotel room rate per night for a 4-star hotel, Germany is always by far the most affordable. And not only that, also in terms of attractions, right? If you look at Canada, you want to go up the CN Tower, you pay 30, Gross Mountain 40, 50. So it's all a lot of money, while in Germany, usually you can get into museums and any other attractions definitely below 10 euros. So really affordable also in terms of food and alcohol. Not that I want to vote for alcohol, but of course it's part of the journey, and especially in Germany, people love having their glass of beer or wine with it. Definitely a lot more affordable than in Canada. Now, English is widely spoken in Germany because we learn English as of grade 1, so it will be very easy for your clients to ask their way around and basically speak to the local people. We also have a great infrastructure, as mentioned beforehand, in terms of our train system, Autobahn, which is again our highway. And Germans are friendly and fun people. You wouldn't believe it, especially if you give them a beer or two, they even get funnier. And I hope once you ever travel there or you send your clients over, you will realize how welcoming the Germans actually are. We have also been voted #1 country to live in. That was at last year's Economic Forum in Davos. Of course, we're very proud of that, and we hope that every visitor gets to feel why we were actually voted #1 country to live in. Now let's get into the topic for this year, Luther 2007. Now you may be wondering, Martin Luther? Wait, you actually mean Martin Luther King Jr., right? I think you forgot something at the end. Well, that's not entirely right. So don't mix up Martin Luther, the American civil rights activist, with Martin Luther, the reformer. However, their stories are very, very tightly connected, because when the father of Martin Luther King Jr. traveled to Germany, he was the first time exposed to Martin Luther, as we can see here to the right. And he was so fascinated by his life story and his teachings that when he came home, and his son was born already, by the way, under the name Michael, he renamed Michael into Martin Luther King Jr. So this is a very fascinating story that, in fact, Martin Luther King Jr., his name was Michael beforehand, and only when his dad returned from Germany, he was so impressed with the teachings of Martin Luther that he decided to rename his son. And it's really fate of destiny that Martin Luther King Jr., equally as Martin Luther, has also changed the entire world. So as you can see, the stories, in fact, are actually very tightly connected. Now let's look into, okay, Martin Luther. Who is Martin Luther then, and what did he actually do? Well, Germany is known to be the land of the Reformation, as it's, of course, the birthplace of Martin Luther. And what people refer to as the Reformation, or the beginning of the Reformation, is when Martin Luther, who used to be a monk originally, he was very upset at the Pope, because the Pope had asked for the people back then to pay indulgences in order to be close to God. And Luther thought to himself, that can't be true. Everyone can only be close to God if they really believe in it, not through paying indulgences. So he formulated 95 theses that he then nailed on the church door to Wittenberg, and that was on October 31st, 1517. So as you can see, 1517, now it's 2017, so that's exactly the Reformation anniversary we're talking about, that October 31st. And now I would like to take you a little bit through Luther's footsteps and some of the things you will still be able to see and do when you're in Germany, because one thing is for sure. The Reformation was a major historic event that not only shaped the Western world as we know it today, and influencing not only the church, but also politics, culture, and everyday life. So it's not really only a religious topic as you might feel it might be, it's honestly really a history topic. So walking in Martin Luther's footsteps, you can actually go to the house where Martin Luther was born in the city of Eisleben. And this is quite spectacular because this museum has been already around since the 1700s. So as you can see, it's quite an old museum, therefore quite interesting. You can also go to St. Mary's Cathedral, where Luther was ordained priest. And as you can see, it's really beautiful. That, by the way, is in the city of Erfurt. We will probably hear a little bit more about Erfurt from Stephanie later on because it's in the beautiful state of Thuringia. And then, for some reason, I can't move my slides anymore. Ah, there we go. Sorry about that. So another great place to visit is actually the Augustinian monastery, where he lived as a monk. And as you can see in the picture, you can still go there today, and you can also still rent a room there. Now, don't mistake, it's not a hotel room in luxury. It's literally back to the basics. You will have no cell phone reception, nothing. You really live the life as the monks used to live them back in the days. And some people really, get a pleasure out of getting a digital detox or just maybe having some time for themselves. And it's just in a really spectacular and beautiful location. And now this is it. This is the castle church where he actually nails his 95 Theses on the church door to Wittenberg just 500 years ago. And it all has been beautifully renovated. So over the past years, Germany has invested quite a bit of money to make those places spectacular again, clean them up, refurbish them. So it's a great way to explore all of that history. One of the main attractions for sure will be Wartburg Castle in Eisenach, which you can see here. It's a beautiful castle up on top of the mountain, and this is where Martin Luther was actually hiding to translate the Testament, because he wanted people to understand what's written in the Testament. And he did not only did he do that in a record-breaking time, but also he helped the Germans finding their language, because back then Germany was not the German country as it is nowadays. It was definitely spread out with different tribes and also therefore different dialects. So Luther was actually the one, setting basically the ground stone for the German language as we know it today. Another beautiful town to visit in Germany while you're on the traces of Martin Luther is the very cute and adorable city of Marburg, as you can see here. And for everyone knowing Quebec City here in Canada, it's quite similar. They have an upper town, they have a lower town, and both of them are connected through a tram. And in Marburg, this university that you can see on top was then, in fact, later on the first Protestant university in all of Germany, after basically the Reformation of Martin Luther had eventually led to the split of the church, and the Lutheran Church was born. Now, to give you some more insight.
Luther nailed his famous 95 Theses on the door of the Schlosskirche in Wittenberg. This action symbolizes the start of the Protestant Reformation, which was exactly 500 years ago. But did you know that today you can still follow the history of Martin Luther throughout Germany? For example, in Eisenach, where Luther lived disguised as Junker Jörg at Wartburg Castle, working on his translation of the New Testament from Greek into German. Every year, around 350,000 visitors enjoy the beauty of the Wartburg. If you want to get a more detailed impression of Luther's private life, you can visit several memorial places in the official Luther towns of Wittenberg, Eisleben, and Mansfeld. All of them are either considered as European heritage or even got UNESCO World Heritage status. Also, there are many more cities worth a visit on your way. Got hungry after all the sightseeing? Martin Luther loved the German cuisine. If you want to dine like back in Luther's days, you can try some of the traditional German specialties. Besides these highlights, there is still so much more to discover about Luther's life in Germany. You can walk in the footsteps of Luther on different dedicated routes up to 2,000 kilometers. The trails lead you through important stages and places of his life, his work, and legacy. Come and join us celebrating the 500th anniversary of the Reformation in the Luther year 2017.
Yeah, sorry that the video was hung up a little bit, but I hope it repeated the story of Martin Luther again in a nice way. And what I can also do at the end, I can share the link to the video for all of you, so you can actually re-watch it again, as it explains very nicely not only the history of Martin Luther, but also which places to see and visit. Now, we have also done something else. We have come up with a couple of Luther routes, how we recommend clients who would like to explore a little bit more to go through the country, and they will actually connect, of course, the towns that were made famous by him, where he taught and where he lived, with all of the touristic highlights along the way. So you can go to our website and check them out. They're quite interesting routes. We also have a Luther trail for pilgrimage. Now, it's a relatively new trail, but it's a quite good one. It stretches over 2,000 kilometers, and you also have the opportunity to basically merge with the locals and stay with the locals also inside their homes, and basically just exchange the idea of the Reformation. Of course, in Germany this year, since it's the birthday bash, there are a couple of special events and exhibitions that Germany has come up with. They are really, really numerous of them that I can't possibly name. So we have picked out a couple of things that might be interesting for your client, which is definitely the national exhibitions. And the national exhibitions is 3 exhibitions in total. They all worth it to be visited individually, but of course you get the picture perfect when you visit all 3 of them. And the first one that I would like to introduce is the Luther effect, which shows the diversity and history, as well as the conflict potentials of Protestantism in the world. And starting with the Reformations in the 16th century, the exhibition highlights the global history of the effort and counter effect. So you will probably see examples of Sweden, the United States, South Korea, as well as Tanzania. So as you can see, it was quite a global topic. We also have the exhibition Luther, 95 People, that follows the young Luther on his path to the Reformation and highlights the significance of the impact that he made on the people. And then, of course, we have Luther and the Germans, since he was a German-born son, how he basically developed and influenced the Germans. Now, looking at some other events, again, there will be many, many. The next one to point out is definitely the weekend of celebrations on the 27th and the 28th of May, which will take place in Lutherstadt, Wittenberg. It's called the Night of Lights, where everything will be lit up. It's going to be a quite spectacular event, followed by next morning. You have a beautiful Reformation breakfast, which is more supposed to be like a picnic. And you have the link to the website down there. I can also share it afterwards. So that's more like a church-focused event, but in a really beautiful city. And as mentioned, if you are looking for more information on everything that I was only able to touch upon briefly right now, please visit us under www.germany.travel/Luther, and you'll definitely find more information. And that being said, I hope that was a quick glimpse into what the Reformation is all about, why it's so important, and why it's definitely worth it to come not only from a historical point of view, but also from a touristic point of view. And that being said, I would like to hand over to Stephanie now, who basically is responsible for the state of Thuringia. And
okay, and there you go. Wait. Okay. So thank you, Antje, for your great introduction. I think you pretty much summed it up in a very well way. And I welcome you everyone to the webinar. My name is Stephanie, and the next 15 minutes you will learn more about the touristic highlights of this hidden gem in Thuringia in Germany. So as you have seen in Antje's presentation as well, Thuringia is right in the center of Germany, which is also quite right in the center of Europe. And the closest international airports are Frankfurt, Berlin, and Munich. And once you arrived at the airport of one of those airports, it will take you less than 4 hours by speed train, the ICE speed train, to get here. And by the end of the year of 2017, it will take you even only 2 hours by high-speed train from Munich, which means you can easily travel from Berlin to Munich within 4 hours. But that's just by the end of the year. So Thuringia is one of the smallest German federal states, which makes it quite easy to get along here by regional trains or by car. So among the fairy tale forests, which stretch from southeast to northwest, you can describe Thuringia's most popular cities as a chain of pearls on a string. And up to the present day, they feature medieval fortresses, royal palaces and parks, churches and museums, and as well buildings from the Renaissance and Baroque. And above that, Thuringia as a travel destination invites you with its diverse countryside of mountains, valleys, and rivers, and nature reserves. So visitors who come to one of our towns are recommended to just start with an urban walk throughout the beautifully restored old towns, sit down in one of the many little cafes, and just enjoy the atmosphere. So in this webinar, I'd like to give you an insight by taking you on a short trip along the highlight cities in Thuringia, which are the medieval town of Erfurt, which is the state capital, the town of Eisenach, which is the home of the composer Johann Sebastian Bach and the famous Wartburg Castle, and last but not least, the city of Weimar, which is famous for literary classics like Goethe and the Bauhaus movement. So you will get to know historical, authentic places, from small cultural treasures to UNESCO World Heritage sites, and all in one small place and reachable within less than 1 hour drive. And in addition, of course, as we're finishing our preparations for the 500th anniversary of Reformation, I also point out the most important historical sites, not all, unfortunately, but the most important ones where the reformer Martin Luther spent the years of his life. So let's start with Erfurt. You have seen this picture before in the presentation of Antje, and you may recognize it's the St. Mary's Cathedral. It's in Erfurt. Erfurt is the state capital of Thuringia with about 200,000 inhabitants, which is still very cozy. So visitors can really literally see past come to life in this more than 1,250 years old city, which has one of the largest and best preserved medieval town centers in Germany. And above that, it is among the latest top 100 of the most visited places in Germany this year, or 2016 it was. So St. Mary's Cathedral is one of the most visited places in Erfurt because it's the jewel of all churches in Erfurt. It is the oldest ecclesiastic building in Erfurt, and it was founded in the 8th century and is home to the Gloriosa. It's 11.5 tons heavy bell, and it's famous for being the largest medieval free swing bell in the world. It's only rung on 8 high religious days in the year, and also when a priest is ordained in the cathedral, which is not unlikely to be happened in 1507 when Martin Luther was ordained as a priest right here. So when you pass over the old town, you reach the Krämerbrücke, or Merchant's Bridge, in the old town of Erfurt. The Merchant's Bridge is, together with St. Mary's Cathedral, one of the most visited places in Erfurt. It spans a small river named Gera, and with 7 wooden arches and completely covered by 32 houses, it is the longest of its kind in all over Europe, and also the only bridge north of the Alps lined with inhabited half-timbered buildings along its entire length. So if you just walk along the old town, small pedestrian shopping areas, you can really enjoy the atmosphere in the old town, get a coffee, watch people, look at the restored buildings. And when you cross the bridge, you won't find any store run by a commercial chain. But what you find here is tiny stores run by locals where they sell regional specialties, fine wines, arts, and crafts. So for example, you shouldn't miss tasting the popular chocolate and ice cream from the local chocolate manufacturer named Goldhelm. And also you could create your own chocolate in a special course. So that might be interesting. And next up would be the Augustinian Monastery, and Antje named also the highlights of this venue. It's one of the most impressive examples of medieval architecture, and Martin Luther dedicated himself to the Augustinian order and lived here from 1505 till 1511. And as Antje also mentioned, it's possible to stay in one of those 40 guest rooms and enjoy this quiet oasis in the midst of Erfurt's old town, of course, without internet, phones, or TV or radio. So just a 1 hour drive from Erfurt, we reach Eisenach, which is situated in the Thuringian forest and surrounded by hills and valleys. And high up on one hill above Eisenach, you can find the famous Wartburg Castle, the most famous landmark of the town and of the state. It is more than 900 years old and has been UNESCO World Heritage since 1999. And with 350,000 visitors per year, it's the most visited Luther site worldwide. So, and yeah, in this anniversary year, we are expecting more visitors, of course, even to come. So as it was already mentioned, the castle has great historical significance as well. And it was right here where Martin Luther, during his exile, when he was banned in 1521, translated the New Testament from Greek into German, which had a tremendous impact on both of the church and German culture as well and society. And Luther's study, as you can see on the picture, it can be visited along with the rest of the castle. You can really see everything. It's not from the original times, but still it is very authentic made, and it's you can see it right there. So once you are in the nature, the Hainich National Park, which surrounds the Wartburg Castle, is a hill chain with a green heart within the green heart of Thuringia in the Thuringian forest, and it's another world natural heritage site. It's an ancient beech forest of Germany. It's the only ancient beech forest that is still uninterrupted. And there are many paths across the park, but one of them is on top of them all. It's the treetop hill, which you can see on the picture. And it is a canopy walkway, which is 530-meter length. And it's up to 10 meters, up to 25 meters above the ground. So you have can enjoy an unusual view of the nature. So once you're back in town of Eisenach, you shouldn't miss the Luther House. The Luther House of Eisenach is one of the oldest and probably one of the most beautiful half-timbered houses in Thuringia, and also one of the most important tourist attractions in Eisenach, because Luther is supposed to have lived here in this house as a schoolboy from 1498 to 1501, and it reopened in 2015 as a museum and extended its presentation for the anniversary. So another highlight of Eisenach is the tribute to the Baroque composer Johann Sebastian Bach. He was born here in this town in Eisenach and spent half of his life in this town. So after this, you should maybe take a short culinary break. A trip to Thuringia wouldn't be complete without tasting the regional cooking delights. Of course, the traditional ones as Thuringian bratwurst or the potato dumplings accompanied by red cabbage and roasted meat with regional wines and beer. Also, you can enjoy them in authentic settings like a vaulted medieval cellar or an elegant castle restaurant. And also you can enjoy dinners like in times of Martin Luther with a special and cheerful atmosphere. So after this quick break, we head up to Weimar, and it's the city of culture. That's because Weimar, as a UNESCO heritage site, was the cultural center of Europe in the 18th and early 19th century because of a remarkable cultural flowering in the period of Enlightenment. During that time, it was home to many famous thinkers and writers like Goethe and Schiller and Wieland, who did the first translation of Shakespeare works into German. And it owes many of its historical venues to a clever and sophisticated duchess named Anna Amalia, who invested in culture and education instead of war equipment. So on the picture, you can see the Anna Amalia Library with its oval Rococo hall. And the library houses a major collection of German literature and historic documents from the classical and the late Romantic eras. So today, the public and private buildings, castles, and parks in and around the city bear witness to the outstanding cultural history of the Weimar classical period. And despite the considerable degree of restoration and reconstruction required as a result of wartime damage, you can see today the high level of authenticity of these properties. So the protected sites include the former residence of the poet Goethe. This is the one on the picture. And Schiller and Goethe's garden house, for example, and the Duchess Anna Amalia Library, and also 5 palaces, and a gorgeous landscape park, which is the green heart of the city, and it invites you for cycling, relaxing, and just recreation. And as a contrast you can also strongly see and feel the presence of the Bauhaus heritage with its creative and innovative ideas. And it has still a strong presence because the university is still open, and also because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So the Bauhaus was founded in 1919 by the German architect Walter Gropius, and it's one of the most important and most influential school of design of the 20th century in the town of Weimar, from Weimar all over the world. And the founders and teachers and students also formed a revolution of architectural and aesthetic concepts and practices, which launched the modern movement and shaped much of the international architecture and design of today's style. For example, the architectural complex of the Eaton Center in Toronto was designed by a former Bauhaus student, Eberhard Zeidler, who immigrated to Canada in the 1950s. And also today in Weimar, it's still you can still feel the spirit of Bauhaus, also because the students' presence and local artists, they bring an alternative and modernistic spirit to the town, and that's a nice contrast to the classic Weimar. So, oh, sorry, I skipped something. Of course, if you are planning to go to Thuringia in 2019, it's the famous Bauhaus has its 100th anniversary. It's 100 years of the Bauhaus School in Thuringia, and in Weimar there will be a grand opening of a new Bauhaus museum with more than 2,000 square meters exhibition space with new objects, and it will open the doors in spring 2019. And it's accompanied by various exhibitions, not only in Weimar, but also all over Thuringia and other German Bauhaus sites in Berlin or Dessau. And last but not least, I'm going to present you some of the events that are coming up this year of the special anniversary year. And one of the most interesting ones is the permanent exhibition in the brand new Luther House in Eisenach, which is an ongoing exhibition, and it's Luther and the Bible. And this museum has evolved a new concept of presentation, like a multimedia exhibition. And also there's a music festival. It's also every year. Also the Wartburg Castle has the national exhibition, as Antje also mentioned, Luther and the Germans, which is about Luther's influence on German culture and language. And well, there's every year music festivals in Thuringia, like the Thuringian Bach Weeks, which is the largest festival of classical music at authentic locations in Thuringia, if you're interested. And all year round, there are many town fairs and markets who attract a lot of visitors every year. You can see artists in historic costumes, try local food, and enjoy open-air music. Like, for example, on the Krämerbrücken Fest, it's the Merchants Bridge Festival, and also in Weimar summer, it's the Arts and Concert Festival in Weimar, all summer long. And last but not least, if you decide to come in the Christmas season, you shouldn't miss the many traditional German Christmas markets over here. So thank you very much for joining. And of course, this was only a short glance at the highlights of Thuringia. And if you require more information or special material regarding this destination, please visit our website, www.visitthuringia.com, or contact me, and I will be happy to help you. So thank you.
All right, Hector, if you'd like to go ahead and take over.
Okay, let me just get this started here. All right, so hello everybody, my name is Hector Kachuga, and I'm a Globus family of brands BDM for Toronto and Halton area. And I have a exactly 15 minutes starting now. So gonna go over 4 different brands, how you can travel around Germany, and a few itineraries as well, just to show you. Obviously, I am not able to show you all of them because we have quite a few of them, but at least some of the main ones that you'll find in our brochures. So Globus family of brands, in case you're not familiar with us, it's a very old company established in 1928 in a lovely place called Lugano, Switzerland. So I always like to point it out that our Swiss quality that we offer with all our brands. We do have office in Toronto, Canada. We have office in London, in Sydney, Australia. We have office in the United States, all over the places. But the main guys are in Lugano, Switzerland, which actually borders Germany. 4 segments of Globus family of brands are Globus, Cosmos, Monograms, and Avalon. And I'll explain all of them, what they are. Hopefully you're familiar with them already. And the picture on the bottom of this slide, it's a lovely Lake Lugano. That's where the main guys are located. So let's start with Globus. Globus is our first-class motor coach tours that we offer. This is a lovely brochure for 2017 that we have it currently. With Globus, what passengers get, they get more VIP inclusions with us than anybody else. What it means, and this is very important for you to know as a travel agent, when the clients go to places of any importance, museums, castles, there's always big lineups. So what it means that with us, we skip the lines. So that's what it means, that our clients are treated as VIPs. Okay, so no lineups whatsoever in front of all those museums or castles that your clients will be visiting. So this is an advantage to go on a Globus tour versus on your own. We offer excellent tour directors as well as local guides in every city. Free Wi-Fi on our motor coaches throughout Europe. So this is always very convenient if clients want to stay connected while on the bus. They want to bring their smartphones or tablets. We just provide them with a password, and absolutely they can browse, through the emails or Facebooks or Twitter accounts. Personally, I don't know why. I mean, they're supposed to, enjoy beautiful panoramic views of Europe, not to be on the smartphones or tablets, but you know what? It's their choice, right? So we don't force them, we'll give them, so it's up to them. So in other ways, Globus tours are hassle-free, worry-free vacations, because we include not only hotels for them, first-class hotels, transportation, sightseeing programs, guides, many meals are included. So this is why clients, really, really like traveling with Globus family brands, because it's a hassle-free, worry-free vacation for them. They just sit back and enjoy the ride. Also, as a travel agent, you guys make a fantastic commission. Hopefully you're familiar with what it is. If you're not, you can contact me afterwards and I'll tell you how much exactly you're making on those tours. And with Globus, in this particular brochure, we offer actually over 25 tours featuring Germany. So this is quite a good number of German tours that we offer. And I'm actually going to show you a couple of them here, specific for Germany only. So first one that you can see it here, it's 11-day German highlights. This particular tour starts in Frankfurt for one night. And as you can see, arrow up goes to Cologne, Düsseldorf. Then we take a train to Berlin. Then all the way south to Nuremberg, Munich, Oberammergau, Black Forest, of course, back to Frankfurt. So it's a lovely itinerary, more highlights for 11 days of Germany in and out of Frankfurt. The next one is a little bit shorter, 8 days German Vista. So if clients maybe have done already, western part of Germany, they're looking more for eastern and then more southern part of Germany. This is an excellent tour for them, starting in Berlin when we have 2 nights, going to Dresden, we have 1 night, Weimar, that already Stephanie mentioned, right, in the middle of Germany, Rothenburg, Neuschwanstein Castle, Oberammergau, and Munich, where we have 2 nights. Okay, so it's a lovely itinerary, a little bit different, a little bit off the beaten track that we offer for 8 days. Another tour that I want to show you, and this is obviously because of the 500th anniversary of Martin Luther. This one is a Reformation tour for 11 days. Okay, so just specific for that itinerary. So starting in Berlin, and we visit some of the places that Stephanie already mentioned as well. Erfurt to be the main one. Obviously, we have 2 nights there. We also travel to Mainz. We have a little bit of the Rhine cruise there, Nuremberg, and ending in Munich for 2 nights. So it's a lovely itinerary, including the 500th anniversary of the Reformation. Okay, so these are the 3 itineraries I wanted to show you with Globus. Quickly, your clients will be traveling on a very comfortable first-class motor coach. Our motor coaches, we only keep them for 5 years. Just to know, we lease them for 5 years. So what it means, after 5 years, lease expires, the bus is gone, somebody else can have it, we'll get a brand spanking new bus, okay, for our clients. All our motor coaches have lots of legroom. Picture, you cannot see me myself, but I'm a pretty tall guy, 6'2", with long legs. So I just took a picture of myself on one of those Globus buses last year, and you can see how much legroom I have. And again, I'm 188 centimeters tall. So normal people, a little bit shorter, they will have even more legroom. Big windows, of course, all across, right, left and right. Big, so a lot of beautiful views for the clients. Emergency washroom and air conditioning offered as well. And as always, Wi-Fi. The next segment of Globus family of brands is called Cosmos. So Globus is a first-class motor coach tours. Cosmos is more affordable. Some people call it budget. I like to call it economy. So the 2 main differences, just for your information, between Globus and Cosmos are, the first one, Globus offers 4-star hotels, very good location hotels, and more inclusions, more sightseeing programs with VIP access. With Cosmos, clients get 3.5-star hotels. Location will be a little bit outside city center to keep the cost down, of course. And also with Cosmos, there will be not as many inclusions. We're still going to show our clients the main highlights of each place, of each city or town, but not as many as with Globus. Okay, so you know, people will have obviously choice, you know, which way they want to travel, whether Globus or Cosmos. But it's, you know, it's a great value with Cosmos essentials included. So again, hotels, sightseeing, guides, meals as well, just not as much as with the first class Globus. So automatically with Cosmos, they will get more free time because it's not as much included, and some people like it. Nothing wrong with that. As well as with Globus, we have free Wi-Fi on our motor coaches in Europe and amazing commission as well. And with Cosmos, again, we do offer over 25 tours as well, featuring Germany. Okay. Couple of itineraries with Cosmos. This is interesting one. Starts in Berlin, ends in Berlin actually. So after Berlin, we go to Dresden, where we have 5 nights there. And then from Dresden, which is quite nice because this is more leisurely tour. So in Dresden, you see number 5, meaning that we have 5 nights overnight in Dresden, and we do side trips. So one day we go to Meissen, then we go to Leipzig, then we go to Weimar and Erfurt, right, for the confirmation. So obviously, but then we come back to overnight in the same hotel in Dresden, okay? And then on the way back to Berlin, we stop in Potsdam. Another itinerary with Cosmos, a little more comprehensive. It's Highlights of Germany. That's a 12-day tour. Starts and ends in Frankfurt. Just like with Globus, very similar itinerary, but this one goes a little bit further more north. So from Cologne, we travel to Hamburg, close to a North Sea. Okay, and then Lübeck, Berlin, as you can see, Nuremberg, Munich, Black Forest area. So very similar to what we have with Globus, but at much lower price. Okay, and also includes Hamburg as the other one didn't. Okay. Next segment of Globus family of brands is monograms. So monograms, what's monograms? In case you're not familiar with this. So it's totally different from Globus or Cosmos because it's more independent. With monograms, we do offer leisurely city stays. So they are normally, we stay in each city for 3 nights. Okay, so people can really enjoy each place at leisure. Not, you know, one day here, one day there. But it's 3 nights in all those cities that we spend. We offer very nice located hotels with monograms, and in a lot of places we do offer choice of 2 or 3 hotels as well. We include with monograms buffet breakfast daily, which is a nice start to a day. Also with monograms, even though it's independent travel, meaning that you don't have to travel with 40 people like on a Globus or a Cosmos motor coach tour, we do offer on-site local host. So local host, it's a great alternative to a tour director for those independent tours, meaning that we will have this individual, the local host, sitting in each hotel in the lobby for a few hours a day. So if clients have questions, where to go, where to eat, what should I do tomorrow, that local host is going to help them. It's almost like a personal concierge, but just for our monograms passengers. Okay, so this is going to be offered in each city that we go to. Also with monograms, we do offer half-a-day sightseeing program with VIP access. So this is nice. Train and transfers will be included. I'll show you some examples. So with monograms, there's no bus. Whenever we travel to 2 or 3 different cities, we include train between the cities. And the transfers to and from the train station will be included. All right. Amazing commission, 6 itineraries featuring Germany with monograms. Just to show you a couple of them. So we, clients, let's say, go to Germany. We have some city stays. So one of them is Berlin, right? So it's a 4-day or 3-night package. The hotel is actually, you can see on the map how good location it is. The hotel in Berlin, the Sofitel Berlin. The next one is in Munich. So again, a city stay in Munich for 4 days or 3 nights. The Le Méridien is the hotel, very good location again, right in the city center. Or clients can do a combination of the two, right? So Munich and Berlin. So 3 nights in each city, like I mentioned, 3 nights in Munich, 3 nights in Berlin, and we include train from Munich to Berlin. That's already included, okay, in a first-class train. And also the transfers will be included to and from the train stations. So we're going to pick them up from Munich hotel, take them to the train station in Munich. We're going to put them on the right train, ticket in hand, and then a couple of hours later when they arrive to Berlin, someone's going to wait for them on the platform to take them to our Berlin hotel. So hassle-free, worry-free. But again, monograms, it's independent. So you don't have to travel with 40 people. It might be just a couple of people going. Okay, so it's a nice alternative for those people that don't want to be stuck maybe on a motor coach. Okay, so that's monograms, which is our segment. Lastly, but not least, Avalon Waterways, our famous river cruising. Just to quickly go over Avalon river cruising. Why Avalon? We have the youngest and most modern fleet in Europe. Why? We only lease our ships for 8 years. Actually, Avalon is the only river cruise company that does not own the ships. We lease them for 8 years. For a very good reason, we don't want to keep old ships. Okay, other guys can do it. They're going to refurbish them, 2, 3, 4 times. We don't want to deal with that. 8 years gone. Some other people can buy it, refurbish it. We're going to get brand new ship for our clients. Also, with Avalon, we offer the largest staterooms. Our smallest stateroom, just to know, it's 172 square feet. And if you've sold any river cruise before, this is already a good size. This is our smallest one. And be careful, because some of other cruise companies are really, really small cabins. They have 150, even 120 square feet. You don't want that. Clients don't want that. Just like on our Globus and Cosmos motor coaches, we do offer free Wi-Fi. We offer excursions with headsets, and local guides will be included. And with Avalon, we do offer over 15 cruises featuring Germany. So this is quite a nice number that we go. Of course, the main rivers, the Rhine, the Main River, a little bit of the Danube River, of course. So the 3 main ones that connect. Before I go to a couple of itineraries, I just want to show you our famous panorama suite. That's a 200 square feet that is offered on any ship with Avalon built in 2011 onwards. So out of 16 ships, this is offered on 12 ships. Okay. So the main thing is, as you can see, it's floor to sliding doors. Okay. Beds facing the window. Yes. Nobody else has it. Okay. So we call it bed with a view, as you can see it, because all other cruise companies, the bed is facing the wall. Okay. Avalon is the only company that bed is facing the window on the top two levels of the cabins. All right. So this is your selling feature of the day. A couple of itineraries featuring Germany, of course, romantic Rhine. This one starts in Amsterdam, goes to Cologne, Koblenz, Rudesheim, Main, Heidelberg, Strasbourg all the way to Basel, and then quick transfer to Zurich. So it's a 1-week itinerary, very nice itinerary. All those river cruise itineraries can be done in reverse, just to know. So we can start in Basel, end it in Amsterdam. And the other one, a little bit longer. This one, it's 14 days. Starts in Budapest, Hungary, and it goes to Slovakia, Austria, and then to many places in Germany, as you can see. So Regensburg, Nuremberg, Bamberg, Würzburg, Miltenberg, Rudensheim again, Cologne, right? So many places to the Main River, Rhine, and the Danube, three rivers combining, okay, all the way to Amsterdam. So it's a lovely itinerary, magnificent Europe, and many stops, of course, in Germany, as you can see, and this can be done in reverse as well. Just a couple of slides left here. Agentlingo.ca, hopefully you're familiar with this. This is a tool for travel agents. You can book all the tours online. You can pay for them online. You can book live airs as well. You can view guaranteed departures. You can view current promos, and you can become specialist. Yes, we highly encourage all the travel agents to become a Globus Travel University specialist. We do offer 3 courses for you. We call it GFOP University, Globus Family of Brands in short. The one on the left is Globus Tour Expert, including Cosmos. So everything you need to know about Globus and Cosmos tours, it's in there. The Monograms Booking Agent, that's an independent travel that I was just referring to. There is a course on that. And then Avalon Specialist, everything you need to know about river cruising. Okay, with the Avalon Specialist. So if you have any questions, this is, you can contact me at hkatruga@globusfamily.ca or phone number 647-274-9679. And on this note, I would like to say thank you and happy sailing. This is one of our newest ships, Avalon Tranquility. Actually, I took this picture when I was in Germany a couple of years ago. So thank you, happy sailing, and I'm gonna give back this to the panelists here. Stop sharing, share screen. There we go. Daniel?
Thanks very much, Hector.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'll just turn my screen back on. Okay, so we'll now get into we'll take a few minutes to answer any questions that the agents may have. I see that there are 2 questions submitted already. But if the rest of the viewers have questions, please type them into the Q&A box, which is located in the Zoom toolbar. Okay, so the first question that was submitted is for Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Stephanie. Are there any entry fees to visit all these amazing houses, or is it free of charge? Thanks. And I believe she was referring to the Bauhaus site.
No, the entrance is not free. Though you can afford a special card, a tourist card from our tourist office here in Erfurt or in many other venues in Thuringia. It's a special card with 200 partners, and all those venues I mentioned here, they are within this card included, and well, it's a very good offer. So you can really get a free entrance with this card. It's well, if it has different fees depending on how long you are gonna stay. Like for one day, it's 18 euros, which is I don't know how many Canadian dollars that might be. Anyway, it's a very good offer because you can, if you buy one card for 18 euros, you can then visit at least I think about 3 venues with this card, and that's the return. So no, they're not for free, but you can get, of course, group offers, special group offers. I cannot name them in detail, and also for students or children, of course, as well.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I think I hope it answers the question right. Yes.
And the next question is for Hector, and this is from Jody. She asked,
Yep.
Oh wait, her question just disappeared actually. Oh, that's funny.
No.
She was asking how to get the word out. They still had a couple of spaces left on the Reformation tour.
Oh, right. Yeah,
how,
Hector, I see that you answered by text.
Yeah, because it's easier for me to type the email address. So best bet, Jody, is to contact our group department, and I put the email address there, Canadian groups at globusfamily.ca. and they'll be able to help you with any questions you may have about your soil use coach.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Hector.
No problem.
And the next question is also for you. This is from Louise. Is Globus company, do they do Canada tours like Toronto and Quebec City, or is it only for Europe?
Very good question. And again, this presentation was only on Germany and Europe mostly, but we do cover 6 continents, Louise. So yes, we do offer tours within United States and Canada, including Toronto, Quebec, Ottawa, Atlantic Canada, Newfoundland as well. So all over Canada. You will find it in the Globus USA Canada brochure.
Okay, thank you. And we'll allow another few minutes just for agents to collect their thoughts. And if they have any other questions, please submit them into the Q&A box, and they can be read out here on the screen. And for anyone that may have signed in late, the recording of this webinar will be available probably by 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And that'll be up on our YouTube channel, which is the Baxter Travel Webcast YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and search for either Baxter Travel Media or Baxter Travel Webcast, you'll find our channel right away. It'll be the first one listed. Okay, we'll give it another minute or two.
And for everyone who's dropping out right now, I also would like to say on behalf of the German National Tourist Office, thank you to our partners today at the webinar. And I'm actually, Hector, you've done an outstanding job. I want to go on one of your tours now. And for a little bit more of Germany and especially Stephanie's region. And everyone who listened in, of course, I'm here to answer any questions as well, and hopefully I can connect you with the right source of partner that you may be looking for. But thanks for your attention.
Okay. Thank you.
And I do believe that's it for questions. Jody says, thank you for your time. It was inspiring.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I don't see any other questions popping up here in either the chat box or the Q&A box. So I would just like to thank the 3 of you again. Thank you, Antje, Hector, and Stephanie. Thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks to the travel agents who tuned in.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, auf Wiedersehen.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.